Welcome back to another Googan Squad cast here with a new HQ. You hit it.
First ever.
Unveiling.
I like how you closed your eyes when you did it.
That's how I like it. I like it smooth.
Well, no, I didn't know we were going to have actual singers over here. You guys actually sounded pretty good.
I've been hanging around
best.
Iraqli a lot, so I got the diddles and the tunes. And
You got that voice, man. You got that Josh Turner thing.
Baby, lock them doors and
That sounded just like...
That's
down
good,
low.
y'all.
That's good.
We got those vibes going, too. We just had some country music playing earlier.
Yeah.
Got the speakers here at the new bar here at
This
the
place
HQ.
is
The new place.
This place is
unbelievable.
No, it's incredible.
Shout out to John
Crazy.
Worm.
John Worman
Been
West.
doing a lot of work in here.
That was the
and,
mastermind?
making it all beautiful. So the store is now open. Just to let you guys know.
Come on through. Come on. I was actually thinking about just pulling up one day, posting on Instagram, saying, "Hey, I'm here
I'm
for an
here
hour.
at the bar.
Come through.
Come hang out.
I'll be serving drinks to anyone over 21. If you're under 21, mocktails. Come shop around. But this is a cool spot. You know, it's like
It's a cool hangout.
originally the Googan HQ kind of took a dip. We used it as kind of a garage for. It was almost like a
Warehouse.
junkyard. It was like a Googan junkyard, and now it's been over time. It's undergone like a facelift, and we've got a fulfillment section, obviously in our warehouse, and then we've expanded our shop side, like our actual retail space, so you guys can come through and get literally anything that we have had a part in designing or fishing. You can get it here. And this is a little bar section too. There's actually a little wet bar back here, and
So cool.
Yeah, so we decided to do the podcast here because this is new. We're proud of it. We're happy about it, and yeah, it's open. So if you guys are in the North Texas area, Crum, 2345 Nail
Road.
Yeah, come on through.
That's us.
I think it's like,
Easy.
what, Thursday through
Sunday,
Sunday?
10 a.m.
Yeah.
to 6 p.m.
That's it, yeah.
Roll on in.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
and you know, one of us or multiple of us might be here, booling around, grabbing some tackle. I come in here every now and then and grab a jerk bait if I need it, grab a clutch if I need it, and if you see us, say hello. I always love talking fishing and outdoors with some of you guys, and I know everyone here is feeling the same. But we had a good day today. Lojo just flew in. One Rod just flew in. We filmed a bit of an urban bass fishing challenge. If you guys haven't seen the video, it's pretty hilarious.
You said good day. My day was good, but it
was
just
good.
turned not so good about 10
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
Bad
Same
punishment.
Here. A little bit
Oh,
of a
yeah, you had
challenge.
some, too.
We had a challenge with punishment.
Yeah.
Punishment. John came through with the Mondos.
Just barely.
and
Just barely.
You've been fishing a lot lately. You've been
I
really hitting it
have.
hard.
I've been fishing like I'm single, and I'm very blessed to have a very supportive wife, and she's like,
She's probably wanting you home right now.
yeah, she probably does, but she understands that we're out here creating content and filming and fishing for y'all at home, basically. So I figured we just, I think we all figured just hop on a little pod, get updated, see what's going on. You guys got any crazy stories? Anything wild going on? We were talking about cheating earlier, cheating in tournaments, which has been a hot topic since October of last year
Yeah.
or September of last year.
Is that when that happened, that walleye tournament thing?
I think it was last year for sure.
I can't remember when
and
exactly that was.
and ever
but-
since then, people haven't really
How you doing?
gotten the hint that you can't cheat in tournament. Like you'd think, you hear Barry Bonds juicing up, hitting all these home runs, and a lot of these guys doing steroids. Like, well, maybe I shouldn't do steroids. I'm going to get caught or something. I mean,
Maybe we should all do it.
or maybe do steroids because Barry Bonds has set the record for.
Yeah,
Did he set the record for home runs, or was that Mark McGuire?
I think it was McGuire.
It was McGuire.
McGuire
Barry
and then
was
Bonds
chasing.
broke that record.
But they were both doping up. Anyway,
True
the
story.
doping up of the fishing world is putting fish in cages,
Weights.
putting weights in fish.
Lead.
Cheating in fishing is like, I've thought about it for quite some time, and I've actually wanted to do like a video series about it.
You want to do it?
Yeah, you've been thinking about
you wanna
cheating for a
cheat?
long time.
Well, I
Those
think it'd be
tournaments?
fun to set up like an experiment, like a controlled environment. See how easy it is to cheat, because then maybe get into the mind of a cheater, and the only way to do that is to cheat yourself. And then see how that, because there's probably guys out there. No, there probably isn't. There is for sure guys out there that have made a career off of cheating in bass. And in bass fishing, or I guess tournament fishing in general, is one of those things where it's easy to cheat. It's not
It's so
so
easy to
tight
cheat.
knit and regulated. Like the only way you're going to get caught is even if there's speculation, it doesn't mean that you're going to.
It's a he said, she said.
Yeah, and then it's
accusation based.
Hey, you're a hater
Yeah.
if you're saying he's cheating, or whoever's cheating. And then how do you get evidence of it? And then
I'm curious
and I mean-
myself how it works. Like,
I've heard it
How do you
happen so
do the
much.
basket program?
Here's
Like-
what I think. Here's what I think would be the easiest way to cheat is you just, you go to like, especially around here in DFW, you got to select almost a dozen lakes around here. You live 20 minutes from them. You go out there and you go fish on a good weather day. You get like 20 pounds of fish. Take a couple of those big ones, 5 or 6, and you go bury them in a basket. Like, I've seen guys. I've actually seen baskets on the bank before, old baskets from people presumably cheating. No litter or garbage around, but then there's this basket with zip ties on
What do
it.
you like? You keep them in the basket at the lake that you're wanting. I mean, so
Keep 'em
you
in there
catch 'em on
overnight.
you catch them on another lake, let's say. And
Yeah,
they're like,
or
"Ooh,
you
that's a
catch
good
'em on
one.
that
I want
lake.
to save that one for next week's derb.
Yeah.
You take it
That's
home.
what Mike Long was doing, right?
He
Like,
was putting them in fish tanks.
He was taking fish from other lakes though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like 2 other lakes where tournaments were being held, so he was like doing real crazy
he-
stuff.
Oh, did
he do
like
that
setting
too?
lake
I thought he
records
was just
with,
doing
like-
the sight fishing.
No,
No, he
Mike
was
Long
doing
was
a
a
lot of
serial
program
cheater.
cheater.
Yeah, so there's a really good
It's a psychological thing.
really
man.
good article. I think it's on SD Fish.
Didn't know that.
A guy basically went
yeah.
out and he dressed up in he put on a ghillie suit and got a huge 70 to 200 lens and kind of hit like it was like a hit operation. It was like looking, he's like doing like some real FBI.
I remember seeing the video of him like snagging. the
Yeah,
bass.
Yeah,
and
that
then-
was
and then hanging
captured by
a
the guy
lure
that
and-
in a ghillie suit, like he was.
But he
talking
would
about.
also do what he would also do. He had many methods. So basically, it would be like he had a big fish tank, similar to what we got going on the Googan. We're not using it for cheating. We're just using it for you guys to
Yeah.
see.
Just how's Gary number 15?
Yeah, we need to put a fish in there. But he would have a big fish tank in his garage, which is also kind of weird. And he'd put there'd be there's reports of people, or I guess claims of people coming over to his place, and there'd be a new fish there every time, and it'd always be a big one, like an 8-pounder, a couple 7s, and keep him in the tank. And then he had like a little reservoir in like his rod locker.
Yeah, he had a live well that was hidden.
Yeah,
A
because
custom
there's live well
made.
checks
Wow.
during every tournament.
That's right. Yeah.
So he would
He
have
found a way
a
around
secret
that.
compartment. This was also,
Dang.
Freaking crazy,
almost a
man.
decade ago, or if that, maybe more. He would do that, but then he would also, again, it wasn't proven, but there was accounts of people. So what people do is they just suspect him cheating. So what they do is they take some random person, put him in his boat as his co-angler, and then what he would do is he'd go fish a cut, and he'd have a bass on a stringer on a tree, and he'd get hung up on the tree, and they'd be like, oh, there's one, and then as he's hung up, like almost like when you get hung up and you get a bite after he's
No
hung up,
way.
and he'd have a
What?
fish, and then he'd pull the fish off the
oh, it's
stringer.
hung
That
up,
is-
and then you go to the front of the boat where the
Yeah,
they
like, it's
couldn't
wrapped in
see
my
it.
trolling motor, and then
Oh, I
he's
gotta get it.
So if the co-angler's really not
my.
paying attention,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know.
right,
You
or
would
especially
just
like
think.
imagine if you're like this 22-year-old kid and you're fishing
Yeah.
with Mike
Mike
Long,
Long,
and you're
yeah.
like, you're not going to question a guy like that.
That is
because
crazy.
he's caught he's caught.
Yeah.
And then the fascinating thing about cheating is it goes beyond tournaments. There's cheating in other facets, like it can be as small as you saying, like let's say you caught it on a Strike King lure, but because you're sponsored by Berkeley, you maybe hang a Berkeley lure out of its mouth after you catch it. You post it on social media.
Oh yeah, that's that.
But what
for
he
sure.
would
been
do
doing
too
that
is
for
he'd go to
years.
these reservoirs that would close at night in California, because California's got very strict rules, shocker, with certain fishing reservoirs. So he'd go there at night and fish off limit times, and he'd use like water dogs, which they wouldn't allow you to use live bait in some of these reservoirs,
so
and he'd
it's-
catch like these 18-pound fish, and then he'd hang like a big swim bait out of it.
Right.
But again, there was no like straightforward proof. People would just see him buy the water dogs, and it's like. But anyway, he's just an example, and the guys that did the weight stuff, in the walleye tournament example, it happens in very smaller instances. Here in DFW, I mean, some kids got caught last year basketing fish, but it just blows my mind that all this stuff is surfaced and the whole walleye thing's become mega super viral, and people are still doing it.
Makes you wonder what percentage
Is it
have been doing it.
still going on?
Do you think that has encouraged new people to cheat?
That's another
because
thought too.
it brought so much light to people. Just like, oh
Oh, I
wow,
could
we
do
could
that.
cheat
We
and
could
win the
probably do that.
tournament.
I mean, because
Yeah.
they had gotten
You know
they
what
had
I
gotten
mean?
away with it
Yeah.
for years.
That's
They'd
what
won
I'm saying. So
hundreds
it,
of thousands.
it may
of
have
dollars.
actually encouraged, unfortunately, some people to start trying that.
You might be right about that. And it's really only the dumb ones who are getting caught, or the guys who are going crazy serial with it. Like, there's probably guys who've done it once or twice and never gotten caught.
Right.
All it takes is one tournament too. Like, oh dang, we kind of
Yeah.
cut corners for lack of
It probably feels so good. You're like, oh, we got away with it. We can do this every time.
Yeah, 24 pounds. Second place was 18. I'm like, we can do this again. And so like it's like a little gateway drug.
Dude, is it bad? Like,
Yeah.
am I being cynical when I see like local tournaments being run where I live, and I see like the first place winner, and then the second, third, and fourth place are all like 6, 7, 8 pounds behind?
Yeah.
I automatically think
Well,
that person that won was cheating.
I don't think it's
is that being cynical? Or
No,
am I just,
I don't think
like,
it's being cynical. I think
realistic?
in today's age you have to. Not even today's age. It's probably been going
You know
on
what
for
I
a long
mean?
time. I think you have to,
That's a big gap.
big old gaps
Yeah.
between first and second. You're just like, wait a second.
especially if it's some folks that maybe are like live like 2 hours away or to the local lake, and the local guys are like, what?
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it's then at that point it's like, is it luck or it was some shady going on?
Well, you guys fish a ton of tournaments like here in Dallas or DFW, Texas, whatever. So how prevalent do you think cheating like actually is?
I think it's very prevalent. I really do. I think it's I think from all the way from high school fishing to, because a lot of these tournaments are
high
run.
school fishing. Bunch of
Yeah.
high school kids cheating.
Yeah, there was a case on Eagle Mountain last year.
Dang.
So what do you
Wow.
think a solution could be to help mitigate some of the cheating? I thought a co-angler would help prevent it, but apparently Mike Long got around that. But that was
Well,
pretty creative.
He was being pretty crafty.
Yeah,
I
that was
think.
pretty
Yeah.
crafty. Most guys probably can't get away if you have a random co-angler
So
in
the
the boat.
walleye guys, that was a team.
That was
Yeah,
a
that was a
team.
team, so
Yeah,
that-
they were
And-
both
Yeah.
in on it.
A lot of other tournaments.
Bonnie and Clyde of lead sinkers.
And a lot of other tournaments, it's kind of like optional. It's a team series, but you can fish by yourself. Like
Right.
I fished a series here in Texas years ago, and it was team or you could fish individually. And there was a guy that did get caught eventually, and it was same thing with the walleye guys. Like years of people were like, I knew it.
Yeah.
You were winning these tournaments,
But
but
why
like,
did it
no
take so
one
long?
was catching them. And
Because you don't want to just be the guy to outright accuse somebody unless you
Yeah. You
have
might turn
some
yourself
type
into
of
it.
evidence. Because
Yeah,
then you
exactly.
seem like you said earlier, it makes
you're
you
gonna
seem
like the guy
idiot.
that's like a sore loser.
Or you're jealous. Yeah.
Exactly. But he got caught from stuffing a weight. That's how he
Really?
finally got caught, was stuffing a weight.
That's what I was going to ask y'all.
And-
What do you think's more prevalent, the bass cage or the
Cage.
weights?
I think it's.
I think
cage.
cage.
Because
Cage.
isn't the
Cage.
weights easier though?
But
And
the-
like less detectable. Like you just throw a couple weights in
You
there
can
real
kind of
quick
tell if
to
a
every
like
fish.
you can kind of
Yeah,
tell what's a 4 or 5 pounder. Like once
Right.
they get to like 4 or 5, like you can kind of tell what's a 7 or. But I guess if it's a small margin, it's
Yeah,
like
if it's coming down to ounces though, I don't
Yeah.
know if you could. I
True.
mean, those
That's
guys
true.
got caught because they were being
Yeah, they're being
dumb.
way too
Idiots.
Like
crazy.
they were putting
Yeah,
pounds
massive.
of extra weight.
literally
in
pounds
these
opposed to
fish.
a couple ounces.
As opposed to a couple ounces. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be more common because it's easier to do. You don't have to construct a bass
Maybe
cage.
it's both, man. I mean,
Which
if you're gonna do a
sucks.
basket, you're probably gonna do some weights too.
Right? Yeah.
Like if
It's
you're
like if you
hearing
like
the
finesse
chatter,
fishing, you might do a little cranking too.
If you're gonna cheat big, man. I
if you
guess.
hear a little chatter at the boat ramp, like, oh, so and so's got 22 pounds, and you know you're kind of close.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, let me sneak in here and just kind of.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations. Like those guys are just sitting there shoving paraphernalia in the fish's face. That's just crazy. I
It
mean,
is wild.
I'd rather just show up to the ramp with no fish. I mean,
I
I
would
can't,
too. It's
I can't
unbelievable.
imagine, especially like with what we do. Like, there's no way we would ever. First of all, none of us here would ever attempt to do it, but we'd never get away
be
with it because
unsurvivable.
everything is documented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Fact.
and then even if we wanted to cut something out, it just doesn't happen. Like there's like, I don't know if this is even a speculation, but a lot of what we do is like there's very few like fabrication moments that even happen in the water. That's I think one of the reasons why we've been able, everyone here has been able to be so successful is because we're very raw and peeled back, and it's like, if we have a day on the water, you see it, or if we
right.
don't catch the
Happens
biggest
a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it happens.
Very much.
Imagine if that we had our whole outlet was like faking it. I mean, there's people out there that will just.
Maybe
mean,
that's
there-
why it's coming up more. It's
There's-
because
there's
there's more cameras, there's more filming going on. So everyone's got a camera in their pocket, and
There-
they're posting about it.
I will say there was a guy that I happened to fish with on specific lake, and he was starting to dabble with the video stuff, and it was kind of a tough bed fishing day. The fish weren't eating, and I watched the weed guard get snipped off, and I watched multiple fish get hooked broadside, and on beds, and it made the cut for his video, not mine. And I'm sitting in the boat, just me and him. It was before I had anyone filming with me, so it was just me and him. And I'm like, this is up.
Yeah.
So it happens even, like I said, like cheating goes beyond tournament. Like you're cheating the whole sport and you're cheating the audience when you do stuff like that. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that, and that was like the firsthand thing I've ever seen to, and that can happen too, especially this time of year in DFW. How many guys do you think see a fish on the bed and like, we're not going to waste time, we're just Billy,
Just go
or
ahead and
Johnny,
get that trailer
Tony,
hook out.
Snag
cut the weed guard off. Let's just
Well, bam.
let's
Yeah.
get this 8-pounder in the boat.
Well,
We can't sit here all day. We got to go hit some other.
Which is
stuff.
another type of cheating that we didn't even talk about.
I know.
That probably happens
there's
during the spawn, during
lots of
tournaments,
little types of cheating.
yeah.
I had old
Snagging fish.
high school baseball coach that always used to say, "Don't cheat your mother. Hey, you ain't done yet. Don't cheat your mother." Basically means
Don't cheat your mother.
don't
Okay.
don't cheat while no one's watching. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just remember,
So I
you
guess-
cheating right now. Your mama's not gonna be proud of you.
Yeah. So I guess the best thing that we could do to try to mitigate is just lead by example and
Spread awareness.
Spread awareness.
Yeah.
Be good role models. Be good examples.
Don't be a douche.
Yeah. If you're watching this video and you've ever cheated in a tournament, don't do that. Don't be a kid.
Don't do that.
Because it goes even you're stealing money from people, and then you're also just
You'll get caught eventually.
you're fucking up the whole. Yeah, you're gonna get caught. You will get caught. Period.
And now when you get caught, it is it's
Everyone
like
hears
national
about
news.
It's on
Oh, yeah.
blast.
Yeah.
It's on
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you risk that? Because you're gonna be put on blast. You're gonna be put in front of a jury of folks that don't even fish that are gonna laugh at you because they know that's stupid.
And you're blacklisted from the sport at that point. I mean, your
Yeah,
name
you're
your name
blacklisted.
is going to be attached to a cheating scandal forever,
Yeah.
like those guys. I
No
mean,
one
he'll
knows
never
who
be able.
Mike Long
Yeah.
is. Like,
Yeah.
people don't even know where the guy. I mean, he had to presumably change his name, moved
Wow.
out of
Moved
state
to Mars.
for sure. Apparently, he's in
Oh, he
Arizona
changed his name.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that's
yeah.
smart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Gone.
guess you kind of have to do
Because
that.
he's basically robbed folks of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And the confidence, too. Like, I mean, I remember when that guy was on the front of BASS, Bassmaster Magazine, and he's holding, like, this, 19-pounder. Who knows if that fish
Who
was
knows if
good?
it was legally caught?
Yeah, I mean,
it
you
tarnishes
just don't know.
everything.
You just don't know. He had rods named after him, baits named. I mean, it's just like, wow. It's just not a good way to go about it.
Yeah, dude, that's the problem with cheating is just once you're caught, who knows how much cheating you've actually done. I mean, let's just say you're an awesome angler, but your whole career is basically wiped away at that point, the moment you get caught cheating.
Everything is
Because now
diminished.
everybody can always say that about your
Yeah.
accomplishments,
Yep.
Yeah.
which
Don't
sucks.
do it.
Anyway.
Don't do it.
Gentle segue. We got some boxes here.
Speaking of cheaters,
Speaking of
let's
things
talk
being
about our
made.
reels. That's a terrible segue.
Fucking awful segue.
Speaking of a product we've been working on forever,
The bait casters.
forever.
200 size gold and green Googan casting reels. I've been fishing them. I've been fishing.
Wow.
To be honest, I've been fishing the gold a little bit more.
Wow, there's one in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
Are we? Can we open these?
Yeah, let's unbox
Do
them.
it.
We can
Unbox
do this
them
for
up.
first time ever.
Official
This is
packaging.
final run.
This is final packaging
This
right
is,
here.
This is it.
This is it. This is.
Oh wow.
Woo!
Pamphlet up top.
Look at that.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, it comes with oil. I actually did
Dang.
not know that we're doing that.
Oh, comes with the oil. I didn't know
Comes
that
with
either.
oil.
Man, that's
Does it come with
nifty.
oil on the
It's always
green?
good to keep
or
it
just
lubed
the
up.
Black. I'm assuming just the black.
I like
Just-
the noise.
well,
that
there's a
the
spot for
drag
oil on
makes.
there.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah, yeah.
very
Is it oil?
good audible noise.
Just the black.
Not
Yeah. So
And
the
tension
Black
knob has a clicker
Series
on it too.
is a dual braking system. So it has centrifugal braking and also magnetic braking. And every once in a while, just like any centrifugal braking reel, you have to oil the brakes a little bit. So the green is straight magnetic. You don't have to worry about that. And they zing. They absolutely zing. Both of them do.
Gold's been zinging for me pretty. I've been
Yeah.
throwing the gold on just like a weightless 5-inch lunker log.
Look at it. Just look at it.
Peppering the bank. Cast far. That's like probably my favorite thing about these reels. They do cast very far. Don't think I've had my hands on one that's straight up like official packaging yet too. So this is pretty exciting. And these will be available when? Mid to late May tentatively.
Wow, coming soon.
Pretty sure. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I said tentatively just because it's mid to late.
And we're gonna have them in left-hand retrieves and right-hand retrieves.
Yes, and also 3 different gear ratios
Yeah.
in each.
That's right.
Yeah.
The muscle, the go-to, and the reaction.
Yep.
So
Yes.
that just correlates to the gear ratio.
Yeah, it's kind of a play on the rods as well, but the go-to, that's 7-3 to 1. That's like kind of
Kinda standard.
Yeah.
standard unit.
Clicking spool tension.
Yeah, I like
Obviously,
that a lot.
clicking drag. They are a 200 size, which is kind of it seems like one of those sizes that kind of gets neglected in fishing in general. Everyone that, all the Googans, we wanted a 200 size because it's a little bit more versatile. You can fit a ton of 20,
Put that
25 too.
on there.
But 25 on here, you can put a ton of,
Put that Texas
obviously,
heat on 'em.
yeah, ton of heavy braid, 65-pound test, braided line too. So we wanted something that's like, because there's a lot of reels out there that are like 150 size, which are okay and they're good.
Yeah.
But having the option of throwing 200 is really nice, especially since we do have bigger baits. We've got glides, we've got bigger baits, and we want to have a reel that fishes everything.
Could do it all.
What have you been fishing with? I've been fishing this mostly with weightless stuff and frogs. I've been beating it up, just seeing how it does.
So I've been throwing a lot of like plastics, jigs.
Yeah.
Been throwing jerk baits on that one just because I can cast a little bit farther.
Yeah.
With the lightweight. This one I've been throwing a lot of just heavy mover stuff with.
Crank.
Like,
You
I've been
lipless.
cranking the crud
Yeah.
out of it. Cranking grass with braid. Very abusive on reels doing that, but it's been great. It's been really good. One of my favorite things about it, honestly, it's kind of a small thing, but I fished with it in the rain a couple times, and the grips, dude, they're like
Nice.
a set of mud tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put your fingers on those things.
Oh yeah.
It's topo grip, but it's like, man, when you grab a hold of that thing. I've
Yeah.
actually gone to some of my other reels that I've loved in the past, and I've gripped them. I'm like, oh, I actually prefer this now.
Yeah.
It's actually better.
Bigger grips for sure.
Yeah, and it's a ergonomic shape to your
Fingertips.
fingers,
Yeah.
like the way it's curved and everything. And anyway, fits like a glove.
Yeah. They feel good on the rods too. We want to make a reel that obviously complemented the rods, and they sit nice
Yeah,
on all the rods. It'd be weird if we made a reel that just did not make sense with the rods.
that one's a little sex biscuit right there. That one
I know.
on the Gold Series rod.
Yeah. 20 pounds of drag. It's
So
it's
dirty.
also like insane drag too.
That's actually my favorite part is the amount
Are-
of drag that comes with these
I'm not
reels.
sure you ever need that much drag.
So
Probably
I mean, for
not.
bass fishing, probably not. Maybe if you're punching and get real and thick.
Yeah.
But
Real
I
nasty?
like to do multi-species fishing, and
Are
whenever
they
I would
saltwater
fish,
already?
Like stripers and stuff.
yeah, exactly,
Hybrid
stripers.
stripers.
And whenever I would fish, like my JDM Shimano's, they a lot of times don't have enough drag for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So having that, it's better to have more than not enough. So I mean, you can always back it down, get it down to have her.
How much is the Golds? It's
I
a
thought
lot.
the gold is like over 20
20,
pounds,
20 something?
22.
The 20. It's 20 pounds.
Yeah,
20
it's 20.
pounds?
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Which is
That's a
about like the most you would
Ever need.
Yeah, you could cinch this drag down completely, which
You
I
can't
do a
pull
lot.
it. Can't pull it out.
And frog fishing, heavy flipping, braid fishing, like
It ain't coming.
simply just like not gonna happen. Yeah, spool is moving across
Yep.
my thumb right now.
And what I've actually been doing, I've been using the same reel for everything just
That's
to try to
crazy.
put it through the ringer. I've got on my personal Gold Series reel, I've got about 50 hours of fishing. I've thrown everything from weightless 4-inch plastics all the way up to the full-size Contender and Rivals on it. 50 hours, and it has performed flawlessly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. And you were saying something today that was interesting. We were talking about the brakes.
Yeah.
And we were casting, and you said, "Oh, I don't put any brakes on."
Yeah, so you have the option to use with the gold ones the centrifugal or the magnetic. I like to just use magnetic and my thumb, and then I'll use the centrifugal if it's like real windy or if I'm throwing a real like
Yeah.
bulky bait that has a lot of drag. But otherwise, I just keep the centrifugal
Well, you
off.
just
the
leave
reel.
it
dialed.
off.
Yeah, I
You're
leave it
dialed.
off.
Nice.
Yeah, give me
So
the great
I would
assistance.
say that's like if you're pretty advanced in your casting, you can
Yeah,
go like full
yeah.
magnetic.
Don't do that if you're not
Right,
that
right.
advanced.
But
Yeah.
Each
Throw
reel
a
too
brake
comes
on.
a little pamphlet too that explains and outlines that too. Obviously, you guys can watch our
does it have your
videos.
face in it?
Doesn't? No, it doesn't have my face.
Oh,
I
it's
don't
disappointing.
This gold one is sick.
Yeah, so it'll yeah, that's I didn't realize because this is the first time we've seen it in full packaging.
With
and
the instructions.
yeah, it lets you know basically if you're new to centrifugal brakes, which for a lot of beginner bass anglers, it's kind of weird and intimidating. I remember the first time I got a reel with centrifugal brakes, it's a little weird, but these reels come with a pamphlet that lets you know the ins and outs of how to deal with that, along with magnetic braking too, because they coincide with each other. don't see that as like an intimidating factor. It's not like it's an extra thing you got to deal about. Once you get these reels dialed in, like these specific reels, that's it. You know, as long as you're not tweaking the spool tension, which sometimes gets bumped around in the truck or the boat, like, yeah. I mean, it's these reels are like push to start for the most part, and that's one of the reasons why we create them. Nothing too complicated.
Solid.
I've been using the green one for a couple weeks now. I haven't thrown as much stuff as you have, but I've been throwing like a lot of Texas rigs and just moving baits, like reaction stuff.
Yanking
you know?
on 'em?
Yeah, I love it though. I mean, no problems. I got dialed in like 2 casts, and I haven't touched it
Yeah, I mean,
since then.
for 99% of people, you can take it out of the package, just start fishing with it, and it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to dial it in, really get specific, you can mess around on the golds with the centrifugal brakes, play with it, and on the greens, it's just a magnetic dial, so you can dial it up, dial it down, and catch the fish.
Z-fish. Anyway, this will be available very soon. So by the time this
It's been a long process.
we've got it dialed down now, which is really cool.
We'd love to
That's
see
sick,
them in
man.
your hands. See some photos
Yeah.
online. I remember the first time I ever saw a Googan bait in a parking lot, like a thrown away one on the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that is so cool. And,
Well, it's not cool that someone littered, but
well, no, but I was like,
yeah.
man, that's so cool to see someone
out
there.
someone else
Someone else
using our
It's
bait.
in circulation.
We saw
Yeah.
a trench hog on a tree.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yesterday.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yep.
and we knew it from right away when we saw it. We were like, that's a trench hog right in that bush.
Someone's
been
fishing.
flipping a
And
trench
what's
hog.
crazy is I fished that lake before the lake that we fished yesterday. I'd been fishing that lake when I really started getting into YouTube before I even came out with baits, and to see that there's just like this relic that's on this tree, probably, you know, from some guy that came along that same stretch. We had also been fishing, hopefully catch him on the trench hog, but unfortunately got him snagged. So it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It is surreal. It really is.
Dude, I
And-
found a zinger the other day on the bank, like
Did you?
the bank that I was
Really?
fishing, and it looked pretty new too. Yeah, but it wasn't one of ours. Like it was for sure not one of ours because it still had the little green rubber band on it.
Oh, yeah,
See, I always take that off.
Yeah,
But
same.
some people use it like with it on there, you know,
Yep.
keep the
Sure.
line from slipping.
Sure.
But I thought it was pretty cool,
It
and then
is.
we stole
Wild.
it immediately.
You stole it. You took it
Threw
back.
it right in the tackle box.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I feel like
that's
it was wrong to just leave it there.
free
you know?
zinger.
and it's a free zinger.
Yeah.
That time of year, you know.
Man, I have actually pulled up a couple baits. Like I got snagged before, and I've pulled up a banger and a recon.
Nice. That's
So-
cool.
Might have been mine. Can I get that back? Where were you fishing?
No, it was. It was on Grapevine.
No, it was
So
not
it
mine.
was not yours.
was not mine
So.
for sure.
Anyway, pretty cool. Appreciate you guys'
Yeah.
support and using our stuff. Makes us feel warm inside.
Special.
I know I've had a bunch of people asking me, like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? They're seeing it. I think the people are ready. We need to deliver upon them some
Now
Googan
the reels are ready.
Here it
They're
is.
coming.
And the store's
They're
here.
here.
Come to the store.
Yeah,
Get a reel.
Every time we post like something on Instagram, like the reel on a rod or something like that, people are like, yo, did y'all see the reel? Like in the comments, like, is that the Googan reel? Is that it?
Yeah.
It's coming.
I'm excited for people to come see the store. I mean, I had
I
no
am
idea
too.
what to expect. I watched a little bit of your video, John, when you kind of walked around some, but I didn't want to spoil it because I knew I was coming here.
It looked nothing like. I mean, this is gone.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
2x now from
Right.
when that video was posted.
When I walked in today, though, I was blown away.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty
the way
freaking
it's
dope.
laid out, it's like twice the size now, too. Like, there's all this extra room.
We knocked down a few walls.
Yeah.
Extended the store. The store used to be.
I actually knocked down one of the walls myself.
You did. You kicked
Yeah.
it. Literally
Ran through
kicked it.
Yeah.
We're like
went
sitting
through
where
it.
one wall was, aren't we?
Yes.
Kinda?
So this
Yeah.
is
Right here.
used to be a
Was a
wall
wall
right
right
here,
here.
ran all the way across. So more than doubled the size of the store. And now we got all the crappie stuff. So crappie's got its own section. Like everything is nicely, positioned in its own. We're
Dude,
in
we
the
got
classic section over
Crappie
here.
stuff. We got
a-
7-inch swim baits. We got crappie stuff.
Got
Weird.
it all.
Got
Fishing reels.
terminal.
It's the real deal.
I think the only thing we don't have is our own hard seltzer.
Anybody watching out there?
Somebody needs to work on that.
I mean, come on now.
Come on.
Biggest users are right here.
Put your face, this face right here on a can. Come on.
John B approved.
Speaking of that, look at this inside the fridge. Can you see this wide angle?
She stocked.
Our big mouth Billy's. Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Yeah, there he goes.
Is that a copyright claim, potentially?
yeah.
Don't play too much of that.
Is that Bob Marley?
with a juicy jig in its mouth.
Is that Bob Marley?
So great.
No, it's not
Glory
Bob
be had.
Marley.
Yeah, we're doing our own strand of, by the way.
There we go.
It's called Googanlicious.
No, dude, that's too
Sold
easy.
on the back porch of the
Googan
store.
Green. That's just that simple. Just leave it at that.
Wow.
Yeah, Googan Green. Yeah,
That's
you're
all
right.
you need right there,
Trademark, money for that one.
You gotta
That's
get.
great.
You gotta go behind the warehouse to get some of that.
Anyway,
I guess right there.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
Is there anything like that's crazy? Like, I feel like I got.
let's keep it going.
Oh, I got a wild story. I told you about this,
All right.
and I think I told Jerry about this. We were. So it was myself, my buddy Grant, Caleb, who helps me film, and then
This isn't going where I think it's going.
what? No, it's not going.
Okay.
No, it's not going.
That's a wild night.
No.
It's a wild one.
No, it ain't nothing like that. This is a good, wholesome fishing story. It's Grant, Chris Bula, myself, and Caleb. We were fishing Lake of the Pines. It was like, so Kaylee, Mile, and I, my wife and our daughter got back from Tennessee at like 12:30 a.m. The next day, planned a fishing trip to East Texas, which was like 4 hours from my place. Got there at 12, and I was like, do I take like a 2-hour nap or do I just drive through? So I was like, okay, I'll just drive through. Like I'll wing it. I'll slam a Celsius. I'll cram some energy down my system, and we'll go. So Grant and Caleb, because Caleb was kind of close to me, he took my truck and my boat, and he drove it down there prior. So the boat and truck was already down to the Airbnb, and I had just gotten into my house, settled down. And Grant left his truck there so I could drive down there. So I hopped in my buddy Grant's truck, and sitting there, like on the in his little cup holder was some smelling salts. You ever dabbled with smelling salts?
No, I have not.
I have not.
It's pretty rough stuff.
If you do, you're a lifter, right?
I've like barely smelled it. I have never taken like an actual hit.
So I was like, he just had it there in
It's
the
very
cup holder,
intense
and it was like staring me down. And I'm like, I've heard of this, and I know it gets you going, and I'm tired, and I got a 4-hour drive, and I'm going to drive through the night. I'm like, see what it's all about. It can't be that bad. So I already drinking a Celsius, so I'm like kind of awake, but those things barely do anything when you're tired. And I'm like,
What, is it
I'm like,
can?
no, it's like a little like vial. And I'm like, damn, it's crazy. It smells like a Holiday Inn pool. And then I go deep. I'm like, all right, dive in. And I went, oh, brr.
What was the feeling? What did you feel?
It's just like it makes your eyes water, and it just gets you going.
What
it's
is it?
ammonia.
It's ammonia?
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically open up a bottle of Windex and huffing it. Like, it's just probably not good for you.
Whoa.
But they sell it at like GNC, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like anything. It's not a drug. So don't.
I don't think it's like harmful. I don't think because like
No,
snorting
it's-
ammonia would be.
Are we sure
but
this is legal?
No, it's 100% legal. It's 100% legal. It's not. So crank that, and I'm like, boom. I could do like 30 minutes. So I get down the road, drive an hour, stop at QT. I'm like, I should probably take another hit. So
probably
another. I'm like, let's keep going. Let's keep driving. I'm white knuckling it. The rain starts coming down. It's dark. I got Big Mac semis behind me, honking the horn, flashing my lights because Grant's windshield wipers weren't working. So I'm like, I can't see. Finally, get there at the Airbnb. It's 5:30. I get the Airbnb at 5:30, and we're supposed to fish at like 6. And I'm like, I guess I'll go for a little nap. And I mean, I like close my eyes, and as soon as I close them, I open them back up, and it's daylight. Grant's sitting there, and he's like, let's go fishing, buddy. So we go fishing, go to Lake of the Pines, which is like a fantastic East Texas bass fishery. We launch the boat, take a hard left, and we just start fishing this bank. And as we're fishing this bank, we're just messing them up, catching a bunch of like 2 and 3 pounders. And we get to this one stretch, and I throw my little lunker log out there. I'm twitching it. I'm like, boom. I was like, oh, I got a bite. And Grant casts it, adjacent to me. He's like, oh, I got a bite too. So I reel down, set the hook, and 2 seconds later, he sets the hook. And I'm like, oh, that's a good. I'm like, I got a good one, man. He's like, yeah, I got a good one too. We're reeling, and all of a sudden, the lines just start going like
No
this.
way.
oh god.
No
And we pull
way.
this
Never heard of
3-pounder
this.
out
No.
out of the water, and this fish has got my lunker log and his blazing worm
No.
How?
in its mouth.
How?
So it ate one, kept on swimming, and
Yeah.
ate the other
Ate
one.
the other.
That's
Not only did it
No.
eat it, but both hooks had to be removed by pliers.
Wow.
Swallowed both hooks.
Like, how far
That's-
apart were your casts?
Yeah.
5 feet.
Okay, but still, that's still crazy
But
though.
still,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
an
like,
aggressive fish
Boom,
right there.
boom. Do you
Boom,
think it
boom.
was maybe a garter or a?
It had to have been, but it must have been a super aggressive one
Yeah.
because he was at the front of the boat and I was like kind of in the front too, but I was like back, so I was working mine at a different angle. And all like that, I know like that it's crazy, but what's even crazier, it's out of a big public reservoir where these fish get pressured, and that's a fish that, and we weren't sight fishing by the way, we were just blind casting like a foot of water. There's no visibility, can't see anything we were doing.
That's
it was cloudy too,
unbelievable.
crazy. Like we just sat, and the reason why I told that precursor with me being tired, I was so sleep deprived and so ran up on smelling salts that I just I looked at that fish with both our lures in its mouth, and I was like, I must be dreaming. I must still be on that couch in the Airbnb, passed out. It was just crazy. There happened to be a bunch of other crazy stuff that happened that trip, like, oh gosh, there was just like weird stuff that would happen. Like I hooked a fish that got me wrapped around a limb, and on the limb was like a $15 bladed jig. I mean, there was just weird, and I got like a brand new lure. It was just like a lot of crazy stuff happened that trip. But anyway,
I've never heard of that in my life.
We'll,
Have you guys
we'll
ever
share and
heard
tell
of
there.
that?
I have not, but I do appreciate John's storytelling, the whole backstory. That story was
from the salts to the
perfect.
catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop a comment if you. We might actually we should probably do smell. Is that on the works? Smelling salts.
smelling.
Put it on the list. Did you have a double hookup with Grandpa Jerry?
You're right. I was just thinking.
Did you really?
It was a
What?
different, slightly. Well, not really. Basically the same situation, except two boats. Yeah, yeah. You were in the boat
Two
with me,
different
Maddie.
boats.
What?
Yeah,
And
we
you
were
got the same
fishing
fish.
some lake in Central Florida. It was during a Googan week or right before one or something, and we were kind of scouting out a spot, and it was hot. And Grandpa, what's his name? Grandpa Jerry was in the other boat, right? Or was he in my boat?
He was in
Wait.
the other boat, and they were
He was with the guide. He was with the guide. They were throwing like shiners in a hole right in front of us, and we were kind of fishing around that same hole. And I was throwing a mondo worm. And yeah, I can't remember what Grandpa Jerry was throwing, but we both hooked the same fish, same exact situation.
Wow.
And,
So
and
you're
it ate
so
both
you're basically playing
plastics.
tug of war to fish.
Yes, until we realized what had
Oh,
happened.
that's even more insane.
Yeah, two different boats. Yeah.
Okay,
So wait, one ate a shiner and one ate a lure.
I can't remember what he was throwing, but yeah, let's just say that's
often
we
does
got
this
two hooks in
happen?
the mouth, just like you said, two hooks in the mouth, two
That's
different
even
anglers, two
crazier.
different boats.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
But I didn't want to
Two
steal your
different
thunder, John, so I
boats.
didn't want to tell that story.
that is wild.
So
wasn't gonna
it's
steal his
happened to basically two people.
I think if you fish long enough, man, you know,
I just
it's
fish.
gotta
I
happen.
fish a lot, and I've never seen some shit. I fish almost too much, and when I saw it, I'm like, I'll never see this.
Drop a comment
Yeah.
if it's ever.
Because I've seen
Happened to
instances
you.
where like someone breaks off,
Yeah, that's
and then they
yeah.
get it again. That actually
Yeah.
was happened with you at Toby's.
Oh yeah, that was crazy because I broke off.
Yeah, I've seen
you
that,
snapped
yeah.
off on a fish, and then you caught it
Next
with
day.
your leader.
Oh. Yeah,
no,
next-
it was like 5 minutes later.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like 5 minutes later. You caught the same fish, and it had your lure in its mouth.
That's pretty
which is
cool,
crazy
too. Yeah, that's
but
pretty
like
crazy.
Simultaneous, like back to back, fish eats it. Like that's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
think it's just all in the timing, you know. I mean, you get fish that are just dialed in like that and eating that aggressively. I think you could probably just throw lure after lure
That's
and
true.
they just eat, you know. It's all about timing.
Drop a comment. Has there ever been a triple up?
Triple. Oh, three
No way,
guys.
dude.
No way.
One fish.
No way.
Ooh,
No,
I don't know. I
way.
might try it.
tough ask.
I should try it.
We need to go find a fired up bedfish and just,
Ping, ping, ping.
I'm down.
Wow.
just barrage it with some little doob tubes.
Yeah, that one the other day would probably take three.
Yeah.
It'd
Whoa.
probably take three at once.
Whoa.
Yeah.
3-1.
That's a lot.
Three
Doob
tubes.
tubes.
3 tubes. John was fishing. We were fishing this little spot, and you threw like a normal lure in there, and it was like, yeah, all right.
The jig,
And
and
then
he was
you-
like,
yeah,
or it was a lunker
it was
lock.
a fully locked bedfish, and we have these new tubes, these dupe tubes,
3 different sizes.
a bunch of different sizes. The smallest one, which is like a northern smallmouth. I mean, it could almost be like a crappie.
One
jig.
of my favorite lures which is crazy because it probably won't get the love it deserves. It's one of my favorite lures we've dropped in a long time. Little tiny tube. It's so sick.
Yeah, which is normally like a tube in general is a good bed fishing bait, but this thing was just small, like a nougat, and you put like a 1/8 ounce jig or something on it,
Yeah.
and the mode switch when that fish saw that thing, it was like swimming and just trying to grab it. it would have taken 3 at once if you had 3
I think
tubes.
it would have. Yeah, I think if you threw 3 all on top of like a general area, he would have gone nope, nope, nope.
That's so weird how bedfish are. Like sometimes they want something real big, sometimes they want something
Oh, yeah,
just
here-
like
Isn't
a
that
little tiny
interesting?
nugget.
It's so
They're all
interesting.
different.
Yeah.
Like every bedfish is just different.
Yeah, so we got like
Let's
a
break
four-
one out of the
we got-
pack.
We got a 4-inch, which would be good for dragging and also
Flipping.
flipping. Honestly,
Yeah, flipping.
Then we got a 3.5, which is like standard for a tube, smallmouth candy.
This is kind of an old school bait.
But the 2.5,
You
I
big tube
fish.
guy, Mike?
I forgot who sent. I think Matt or
forgot it.
somebody sent me some of these to Maine, and I'm like, a 2.5-inch tube. That seems kind of weird. But I took the 2.5-inch. I fished the bigger sizes. They're good. Don't get me wrong. But what the fish in Maine have not seen is a 2.5 on like an eighth ounce jig head, and with the smaller tube, I don't even let it hit the bottom. I'll just kind of coast it like a marabou jig. Like if I throw the black and blue, I'll coast it just above the bottom, just let it kind of swim. Yeah, that color exactly in the small size. And oh my gosh, dude, it outfishes the lunker log, it outfishes a jerkbait, it outfishes any other like, staging smallmouth lure. Period. It's weird how it works, and my goal for this year is to go up to Maine and make this one of our best selling lures, because and I know it's not just, I know it may sound kind of niche for small, but it's bigger than that. Like it's like what it is, it's like a Ned replacement, because it's about if you really stretch it out, it's about the same size as a Ned. It's 2.5 inches, and it's just a little bit something different opposed to, because like the Ned has been around for a long time, and those fish,
They
they've
got
seen it.
smaller bait fish. And the smallmouth up there, a true smallmouth, they have tiny little mouths.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
Literally, that's an actual smallmouth.
They would love to eat a glide. They love
Right,
to shove it
right.
down their throat,
They
but
just
they can't.
can't.
Yeah, physically they can't.
I know, and I saw this, and I was like, "Are you serious? This is
No,
this is
don't-
a thing."
Bring that up to Canada.
Couple things I like about the tube.
Tell me.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to flip a white tube a lot around, like areas I'd get bit, throwing a spinner bait and stuff like that, where fish are feeding on shad and shallow brush.
That's it.
And it's a really good like shad imitator. It's very erratic, so I'd flip that in brush, and also marina docks. So being able to like skip the tube back in there, the light Texas rig, and then just kind of work it almost like a jig. And it used to be like more popular, and then I feel like
So I'm
I
saying
don't
like
know,
let's
tubes just
bring it-
kind of
let's
got
bring a
away.
Bring it back.
resurgence back to tubes.
But it's so erratic. So when we were talking about bed fishing the other day, one of the reasons I love a tube so much is that you don't know where a tube's going to go. There's no appendages on here that are going to guide the bait in any direction. So when you pop the bait, it's going to go left, right, up. You don't really know. The fish
Right.
doesn't know, and it's going to catch it by surprise. It's just very erratic.
and that's why I like it for small. Like when you're bringing it over like a rock flat, you're going like this, and it's just kind
dark.
of.
Just
But here's how I like rigging the little one. I tried doing this yesterday, but the head I had was too bulky. But this is nice. So I got a little.
do you lube it up before you stick it in there?
I got a little rattling Ned head. It's a 1/0, size 1 eighth ounce.
ouncer.
And you take the 1.5 inch, bring it in line tied first.
Wow, you've done this before.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's how I rig mine.
This is see, this is mildly foreign to me because I'm just not.
You haven't. This is how you get it.
The small tube thing is just completely foreign to me. I've thrown a tube like that before, but it was like a 3.5 inch.
You gotta slide it through just like this.
Yes, sir. And what's the name of this
So you
rig
use
again,
the
John?
Ned head.
Yeah, the Ned head.
Okay.
Because there's not
Oh, wow.
there's not a tube jig big enough out there for, or small
Yeah.
enough out
You
there.
know,
for
actually,
it.
the way that head is shaped.
So
that
see
goes
how that
perfectly at the
see how
end.
it looks goofy. I know, but that's it.
No, that's super interesting.
So that's all you do, and then you bring the line tie through. You kind of pinch it with your nails,
Mm-hmm. Bring it through there.
and then you bring the line tie through, and then you get to tie like 8-pound test on there. And what's nice about this is the Ned heads are kind of set back too, so it's not right on the head, and you just tie it right there, and it's a
perfect
wicked little
size hook
action.
there for that.
Yeah, if you're having a difficult bite in clear water for largemouth or smallmouth, this is kind of stupid. Looks great. Does that not look just?
That looks good, dude.
Yeah, look at that.
It looks like the type of thing that would work, though. in a situation where most other things aren't working.
Right.
You know, because
You're
it
on
is
a
so like
finesse bite.
atypical. It's small. It's not intimidating, and it's erratic. So.
And I think there was a bit of a discussion to kill the 2.5 inch side, but I was like, no, we
Heck
cannot
no.
do this
I'll
because
tell you what, I'm going to put that on a crappie jig.
crappie jig, yeah. So that's the other thing too is like trout, like ice fishing for trout, crappie. This is amazing. This is really kind of dope, and I want to bring it to light.
Well,
So
also, if you want to get Western, flip some thick brush.
yes,
Tube's really great because there are no appendages, so it'll slide through any kind of cover. And we put some ribs on here so you can Texpose it.
yeah.
Put your hook on top and
I
kind
didn't
of
even think
Texpose
about
it in
that.
there.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it, thinking about how good of a flipping bait it would be. Like heavy cover, grass
like- it
mats,
was like a
because
2000
it's so streamlined. It's just going to go right down.
You won't get caught.
It's not going to get caught.
It's like a 2008 to 2010 technique that just
know.
kind of faded away after people.
It was back when Creed was really popular.
Yeah,
Can you take?
Nickelback was
Yeah.
popular, and so was flipping tubes. And you know what? Nickelback's making a comeback.
Nickelback's good,
and
dude.
so
I don't-
so are tubes.
I don't see what's the beef is with Nickelback.
Look at
and
this
Creed.
photograph.
It's a good song. Look
Yeah.
at this truck and tube.
Hey, John, you see
It's
this
a
rig?
Fish
that?
catching
What do you got
son of a
there?
dude.
Gotta be honest, hadn't
Let's see
thrown too many
this.
tubes in my life, but
What's
this
I'm
for
willing to
real?
learn though.
Yeah, it's a quiz. I'm quizzing you. What's the name of that rig?
Fishing
I
anywhere
don't.
you fish a
That's,
jig.
You like that?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
how'd you even do
Get
that?
down with it.
Is that,
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
You see how it's done?
Throw it
Oh,
in the
wow.
shallow brush with
That's called the
you,
stupid
next
rig.
couple days.
That's what you do with tube. They
That's
call
a good
I don't know
one
why
to,
they call it
For
stupid
real?
rig.
Oh,
It's
man, yeah.
actually a real rig.
Show that one to the folks.
Yeah, good.
That's
Take a look.
actually kind of sick.
Like a little mini Texas.
So it's a weedless. It's like
It's how
a.
you use that
Oh,
jig
dude,
head,
that's sick.
but you make it completely weedless. It's called the stupid rig tube.
How'd you even rig that?
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Now, can you
I
replicate
have-
that? Can you replicate that with one of these jig heads? That's the question.
I don't
That's
think
the-
I can.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
can you
That's where
replicate
you
it?
got
Yeah.
the little line tie right there coming through. Dude,
Yeah.
that's sick, man.
Yeah. You can
Yeah,
get, like-
tube's one of those things that at the
It's very
surface may seem
versatile.
kind of boring and like just easy to use. You just put a tube jig on it and you drag it, but and I think it's cool that we did 3 different sizes because then you can kind of because that's the middle of the pack size.
yeah,
that's
it's the middle.
Okay, so I actually got one of these.
Oh, you got
I've had
one.
these in my tackle box for years. And this jig head I have
yeah.
is actually called the Stupid Tube.
Oh,
jig
nice.
head.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
And
so try it, yeah.
This is not one of our products. I forget who makes it. But the way you rig it, it's just like you were talking about, Mike.
Yeah.
Huh.
Beautiful.
Wow.
But
Yeah, it's almost identical.
It's made to do that, where it's Texposed on top. And you can fish
But
that
it's got
for
weight, but the
cover.
weight is in the actual
Yes.
bait.
Yeah. So it has
So
a
it's-
nice fall, a really nice erratic spiraling action on the way down.
Yep.
Probably helps with the weedlessness too.
Oh,
I mean, there's just
absolutely.
nothing to
Very much
catch.
so.
There's
on
no head. There's
anything.
no head. There's
Yeah.
no like weight.
Take
It's
it
like
to
a
any
wobblehead
Florida
or a
pond, you'll
jig.
come through clean.
So
Wow.
that's called the Stupid Tube jig head. That's like what's on the package.
Well, it got me
That's new to
excited
me, man.
about this. This is kind of blowing my mind a little
me
bit.
take
We don't
this-
really use this in the South. I mean, people don't really.
I
But
know.
you totally
Throw
can.
There's a guy up
tubes, you know
north
what I
that
mean?
showed this to
Especially
me.
Alabama, there's like some clean water. I mean, I know you're far from Smith, but
Yeah,
like
river
something like
fishing
that
too.
on Smith would just crush.
That's what that
or-
jig head looks like.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.
Oh,
Huh.
Isn't that pretty sick? So it's
Oh.
kind of interesting how you have to rig it.
Yeah, it is
But
weird.
it is weird. But
Gotta go through the bum, through the
Mhm.
bottom.
go through the back end first.
Yeah.
Nothing
But,
wrong
I
with
might have to
that.
make something like that.
It's a little 1/8 ouncer there, but yeah,
Man, pretty cool.
Hit it from the back.
hit it from the back.
There you go.
And then,
Well said.
Come out in the front,
Nice.
tie your line on. You're good to go.
It's kind of sick.
Pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about tubes. I kind of want to go
I know, right?
flip some tubes.
Go,
now.
let's go smash some
Wow.
smallmouth.
Put them on the new rods and reels.
I seen
Take you to that creek over there. We'll catch one right
Yeah,
now.
creek. Yeah.
Right now, we'll get
sun's
one.
still shining.
Right now.
Oh yeah, it's still shining. We go right now.
Right now though.
Right now. Loser has to eat some of that more spicy.
Oh
I'm
man,
catching a bug.
Dude, it's in my eye right now, honestly. Yeah, I'm catching a bunch too.
Catching a hot flush on the face from that.
Anything crazy y'all
sauce.
want to talk about before we wrap it up? Something quick, little 10, 15-minute little snippet.
Let's talk about banks failing. I mean, what?
Yeah, let's do that.
Talk about the
kidding.
financial
No,
sector.
that's not happening.
The government said not to panic though. So
That's when it's time to panic.
What's that?
I know it, man. That
Oh,
makes
we
me
had-
nervous.
oh,
when
is
these
this coming out?
politicians are like, everybody calm down. It's like, why are you telling me that?
Oh, it is on the site now?
I've never even fished these, though.
What is that?
Green Series Slim Shaky Heads. It's on a oh, it's actually kind of sick.
What is it?
Isn't it?
So it's a screw lock shaky head, but it's kind of cool.
Oh, it's got a
I
swing screw
I
lock?
personally have
Free
actually not
swinger?
fished this yet.
Okay.
This is something our design
I
team's
haven't
been
either.
working on.
I've heard.
Oh yeah, I've fished these. These are sick. These live soon. 2-point-inch
2-point inch.
swim baits.
2.8s.
Sorry, 2.8-inch. Is this a real color? Crawl? Fire crawl? What is this?
Is that Flamin' Hot?
Flamin' Hot.
Flaming hot, baby.
Bet you a weird smallmouth would
So
attack that.
it's been
Those
obvious.
Weird colors.
Oh yeah, dude, they would love largemouth.
Why do smallmouth like those?
Because
weird colors?
They're dumb. They're dumb, and they just want to eat something different. So as you guys know, with saw swimmers, like that's one of my favorite baits that we've created, especially in the colder months. But we downsized it. We shrank it to 2.8-inch size that we're coming out with, and a bunch of different cool colors. What I'm holding right now, I think this is Sexy Shad. Sexy Swimmer.
If you're living in the Midwest,
Yeah, take note. Got Flamin' Hot.
we got your back.
We've got Sexy Swimmer. These are a shrunken down version of the Saucy, and I'm so pumped for this. I feel like we got it a little bit late in the season, but I've been fishing it quite a bit over the past couple of weeks, and these are great. This is an awesome little swim bait to throw on just like an 1/8 ounce ball head.
Yeah.
We went out to, I almost said the name of the lake. Well, anyway, went out to this certain lake that Rackley had fished, and I went out after, and I threw the 2.8-inch size of the saw swimmer, a ton rolling over grass.
Oh, were you throwing the 2.8?
Yeah.
I thought you were throwing just a
And
regular
I caught an
size.
8-pounder on it.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they were going. They were. Oh yeah, they were.
okay.
They were beating the 2.8-inch up. So I finally got my hands, because I've been hearing the fact that we've been working on a smaller version of the saw swimmer, which I knew was going to be great, but I just wanted to fish it.
You
So
like it
I-
on 1/8 ounce the best?
Yeah, 1/8 ounce, just like a lead head, nothing crazy.
Just plain jig head, ball head.
And ticking it over the grass, and I caught an 8, and hook. I dumped a 7, and I caught probably 30 fish on it, and then the other 10 or something I caught were like on jerk baits. So, but what's cool about this is like if you've got a lake that's clean and pressured, the small size like that works really well, because a lot of lakes, at least up here, the big bass will eat small threadfin shad.
Yeah.
And the small threadfin shad are like literally this big. So we wanted to make a swim bait, a saw swimmer that replicated that exact size of those really tiny shad they're eating. And at some point, you can't go any smaller. I mean, you might as well be crappie fishing at that point. If you go below the 2.8, you're floating flying. You know, you're throwing. So I was pumped about that. So yeah, one of my biggest fish of the year came off of that, but it was in a
Unreal.
gizzard shad, which
Gizzard
is
shad.
my favorite color we make.
This is a good clear water color right here.
Yeah.
Which
Sexy swimmer. Yeah.
Sexy shimmer.
I love it when
like
people
that.
catch.
Shimmer.
Wow.
I love it when people catch big bass on like the most random lures. It's like a constant reminder of how, like, you think you've got bass figured out,
How little we know.
and then we just don't know. Like, it just depends
Yeah.
on what mood they're in, like what time of year, obviously. But I love stories like that. People catching big bass on the most random lures, or
I used to see that all the
you know.
time when I was guiding.
yeah.
I'd be like, hey, you need to throw this, pick up this 1/2 ounce jig, just throw it at these stumps. And then they're like, no, I've got a little program I like to throw back home. And it's like a pink polka dotted.
And you're like, okay, have
Yeah,
fun not
never
catching
gonna work.
all day.
Yeah.
And then
And
you
they're
just
like-
hear that Zebco start. And you look back and the thing's just wallering. And you're like, okay, well, listen. You don't know everything in bass fishing.
I feel like what this is we've, as far as like the lineage of Googan goes, as far as the bait side goes, we've created the staple as far as soft plastics and hard baits go. But now I feel like we're in that period of time in all of our careers, and like especially Googan baits and partnering with other companies to create lures. Like we're in that position now where we get to kind of really fine tune stuff. Like where we
fun.
get to do the fun stuff, like the 2.8-inch, and we get to do the tubes, and we get to kind of mess. We're actually in the process of creating limited colors per angler. So each of us are going to have our own colors.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's fun. It's fun, but it's also kind of nice because we get to individually create something that we're very confident in that maybe isn't out there already. Like for example, like I the color that I'm working on in the crack and crawl, it's weird, but it's a color that I know is going to work for spring. You know, spring and early summer in Texas, and especially up north. I mean, I did a lot of fishing up north, but you know, living in Texas for 5 years, like I want to create a color that is universal. So, and I'm sure you guys are.
I've heard about your color. It's awesome.
No, I'd like to hear about it. I was going to ask you what it was.
Yeah, it's I want to do something that incorporates the Googan green, but that's not too over the top where the point it's like it's just too much. So I want to do like a little bit of purple, a little bit of green, something that stands out, but that's also a little bit natural, like not like a nasty purple. It's kind of like a little warmouthy. Yeah. So that's what I want to do.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about my color too.
What's yours?
It is a modified tequila style color.
Oh, it's Texas tequila, right?
Texas tequila
Yeah.
will be the
Now, let's tell me
name.
about it.
It's a good name.
But
What's the color like?
it's one of my favorite worm colors in general of all time to throw in like big worms is like purples. Love purples.
Yeah.
Like any kind of
Like a
purple
plum
seems.
or-
Yes, like plum's
June
one of my
bug.
favorite all time. June bug's great. Even black and blue a lot of times. Blue fleck. So this is kind of a mix with a little bit of red in there too, like reds and
Nice.
purples with some greens.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
Dude, great minds think alike, because I wanted to get like a lot of purple incorporated in my color too. So we just got the
Absolutely
whole
catches
purple
fish.
thing going on here.
It's that southern, like I'm sure the same water clarity you're fishing.
Very similar, I'm
yeah,
sure.
it's like purple,
Same
dark,
forage.
that kind of dark, but like not black and blue dark, like you know, just
Right.
kind of something very, very not neutral, but like that just kind of can go either way. It's teetering between. You could throw it in some clean water, but you can also feel confident throwing it in some dirty water. That's the big thing with colors is like you got to feel confident with it.
Yeah,
You know, there's
right.
some colors you look at and you'll never throw because you're not confident in that color until you throw it and catch fish on it. Then it's your new color. Then it's your new favorite. So
Well, I wanted to get some purple in there because I read this study a few years back, and I can't remember who did the study, but it was like official. It was real. And it was talking about what colors bass can actually see and recognize. And,
Yeah.
you know, we as bass fishermen, we have all these colors, and, you know, we think that if we add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but this particular study found that they can only really see like reds a little bit, and then, but purple was a color that for some reason largemouth bass can see really well.
interesting.
So, like I said, I can't remember who did the study, but it was like real and official. And I remember thinking, like, I don't really see a lot of purple in lures.
I
You
remember,
know,
I remember seeing like a little chart too growing up. It was like all the colors that are most visible in like darker water.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
like, it's black and blue and purple.
Maybe that's why dark worms are good. Like hunt summer, fishing brush piles.
Even clean water,
Yeah.
like purples and
Yeah.
blacks, like, and also
Yeah.
too, like you got to think about like bass are very much like reliant on their lateral line movement, vibration, what's going across their like whatever. But like what is the one color they key in on the most? Just because you're throwing a black, or let's say you're throwing a pumpkin jig. Pumpkin's a great color, but are you getting bit on a pumpkin jig because they see it, or is
Exactly.
that just because you're there?
maybe up shallow it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, with some sunlight, it might be different. But like with the
What are they actually seeing? You mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are they actually? Are they just feeling the jig go past them,
Right.
Or is it like if you're throwing, you know? Because growing up as a kid, I fished some really clean reservoirs, and like clean, like 15-foot viz, and our best bites would come off like black and blue. Like, remember those mop jigs?
Mm-hmm.
We'd throw that, and it was like black and blue.
Oh, that's old school.
But they eat it coming up off the grass. So I don't know. But
well, that's the cool thing about it. There's so many factors
I
that
think you're
go
right,
into
Lojo, yeah.
why a bass bites to begin with. I mean, there's times where a bass is so fired up you could throw anything in there and they're going to hit it. There's
I
other
love
times
those.
where you throw your whole tackle box at them and
Not
they
today.
eat nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, y'all caught 20 pounds today, right? Is that what
did.
I heard?
Yeah, but a lot of the
About-
fish
jeez.
were not really eating.
It wasn't like how what did you remember when you weren't here for that Googan week, but it was Yak Pack and Norm. We fished the same lake we fished today, and I cut the trip short, but we had 35 pounds in like 2 hours.
I remember the
What?
video. Yeah, the Dirty 30, pretty quick.
Same. Yeah, Mike's like, what the because he just was out there. Norm caught like a 5 on an A rig on the dam, and then we went up shallow, and they were all up shallow. You could see them, and we cracked like a good 30 pounds up shallow with 4 fish. Caught a 7, a 6, two 7s, and 2 6s, and a 5. And I think I was like, I felt I had hung out with Kaylee in a while. I was like, I gotta shut it down. I felt bad because I'd been fishing like a monster. But yeah, I mean that like. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like 20 pounds is good, but that place is capable of like, something insane.
You're just a big sack catching son of a.
Not this year. I'm trying, man.
I don't know, man. You cracked some goods this
Yeah,
year.
it seems like you're always on.
Well, if you
some
fish a lot, you
good
catch big fish, and you catch. But I fish a lot. If I was out there and I fished once a week and I was doing that, that'd be impressive. But I'm also fishing a lot, and I'll have a lot of really shitty days, man. I've had a lot of days where I'm like, I come home and Kaylee's like, "So how'd it go? Did you get a video? How was it?" I'm like,
maybe tomorrow. I'll see you later.
And then you got to explain, I got to go out tomorrow and film it. And it's like, what do you mean you're going out
So
tomorrow?
what did you film today?
Nothing.
That's what always gets asked.
Nothing.
A lot of
Did you
cats.
film a video today? Like what?
Nothing, dude. No
Not
one yelled at me. I didn't
necessarily.
get no homeowners on the dock came out and
No
screamed
Karens.
at me.
No
I didn't break
nuggets.
my boat. I'm like, damn it, dude. Nothing stupid happened today, and I didn't catch fish, so I can't post it. But
What's the biggest bass you guys have caught so far this year? Like everybody up here. I mean, we're like dead in the middle of the spawn right now, so I would assume somebody's cracked something decent.
I caught a 9.8
There you go.
on
Yeah.
Falcon though, so it's like,
Still, man.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
yeah.
I had a questionable 10.
Ooh.
I think it was
Questionable
I
in
saw
what
it.
way?
I
No
saw
scale?
pictures. I
I
saw
had no
multiple
scale,
angles.
but
Dang it.
it's I've caught enough fish over 8 where it's like, all right, this one's definitely different. I mean, if it wasn't 10, it was high 9.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow. Dang. What about you, Mike?
I had a 5 in Florida and
Nice.
Maryland.
Well, you
maybe-
live in Maryland,
Yeah.
to be fair. They
hasn't
live
even
in
started
Texas.
yet. The season is not even underway yet.
Yeah.
What is a Maryland
So you
state
got time.
record?
State record in Maryland is just over 10. Is like 10 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
8 ounces, something
Get
like that.
out of there, dude.
Dude, they don't grow very big,
Move
unfortunately.
to Florida.
That would
you
be
need to
better.
come on down
That
here,
would be
man,
bigger.
or somewhere down here.
Man, move to Texas.
Yeah, I've only caught like a 7.5, so I'm still. But I'm about to. I
Only a
think I'm
7.5.
about to catch a good one here,
But-
like next week.
yeah,
I
you
think.
might,
I hope so.
You might get up in there in teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll do
man.
this podcast
We'll
again
see.
later on, and we'll go down the list, and Loj will be like 13.
Yeah,
And a
that's
half.
Playing, man.
yeah.
I'm going for Lake Records, where I'm going next,
Yep.
which is 13. So we'll see.
I think you can do it.
It can be
It's
done.
the right week, too.
It can be done at that lake. Yeah, it's gonna be a little cold. Is the only thing, but I don't know how the Texas cold affects them. The bass.
They're fat right now, dude.
Yeah, they're so
They're
fat.
fat.
The thing with Texas, like you'll get fish that are spawning, and then you'll get fish that are pre-spawn, and it just depends on which ones you want to focus on. You want to try to get those spawning fish, or do you want to go out and head off the bank a little bit,
You
throw
wanna-
some jerk
yeah.
baits, throw some cranks, throw some swim baits.
So much fun.
Depends.
Get out there.
Texas is great, by the way. I love coming to Texas. If it's just like a fishing trip, like I would rather come here than literally anywhere else.
It's all
If I'm
right.
bass fishing,
You feel it when you get here, when you
Yeah.
cast, and you're like, it could happen.
Yep.
Any cast.
Yep.
Multiple.
Multiple lakes, like a lot of the lakes that we fish around here and otherwise, they all just seem like they have that really big bass potential. Some places they're
How-
kind
how
of
long
capped
are- how
at what
long
the
are you here
potential
for?
is. I'm staying till like next week, dude. I'm staying for like a week.
Should we
Yeah, me
wrap it
too.
up?
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Hey, new stuff, new swimmies, the dupe tube,
Keep your eyes-
amazing. Yeah,
New barrel.
We got that in a short pattern too. If you want to get fancy,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we
Real-
sold out of the shorts a few times. It's
Yeah.
popular,
They'll sell it
popular
again
item.
too,
Yeah.
probably.
The new
I'll-
colors are going to be
I'll buy
popular,
them all.
I think.
Yep,
Some of the new colors go really hard.
and get geared up for reels.
Yep.
It's like the last big piece of the puzzle here. To have a
Seriously.
complete lineup. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, come-
use your favorite creators promo code,
Yeah.
save at checkout.
Come check out the new store.
Come check
Yeah,
out the new
come
store.
through. Come see us. I might be here.
And
Rex
most-
might be here.
Most importantly, fish right now.
No.
Fish. Biggins
Get
are waiting.
to
They're fat.
Rankin.
Yeah, get in the comment section. What's your biggest fish so far this year? That would
Somebody
be
show us up.
Yeah, seriously. Somebody's caught a 10 somewhere.
Some kid's
Somebody.
like, I caught a 15-pounder on my dad's dock yesterday. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a picture. Come to the store. We can put it on our bar table.
True.
Yep.
Right here.
True that, man.
Bring in your big fish pics with catching
this
stuff on
fish,
our
bro.
stuff.
Dude, that's a nice hybrid right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we got all sorts of.
The teeth, bro.
Is that a hybrid? No, that's a.
Sorry.
That's a tiger fish.
I just saw the
Tiger fish,
stripes.
that's from, like,
yeah, my
South
bad.
America.
Africa.
My bad. Didn't see the tail there. I just saw the lines.
Thank you guys for watching another little podcast. If you want some more of this, drop a comment. Let us know. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Stay good. Catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go!
No, that's PB. That's PB.
Go to GooganSquad.com.